In this video, I'll be sharing with you everything that I know on how to fix and manage digital eye strain. So I started having digital eye strain about 4 years ago, so I have quite a bit of experience. I've seen many eye doctors and I've tried many different things to manage my digital eye strain. So over the years, I figured out a lot of things which can really help to manage digital eye strain. So that's what I'll be sharing with you in this video. Now this video is going to be more of a rapid fire video where I'm just going to be going over lots of different tips. If you want to watch a more slow paced video where I talk about my journey of digital eye strain, then you can check out the other video on my YouTube channel. It's called How I Fixed My Digital Eye Strain, and I'll have a link to that in the video description. But in this video, I'll be going a little bit faster. I'll be going through all the different tips and tricks, and I'll also be talking about a few new things that I figured out since making that first video. Now, just a quick disclaimer before we start this video, I am not a doctor or an eye doctor. I just have my own personal experiences, and so I'm just sharing that with you, but definitely do your own research and definitely see an eye doctor if you have digital eye strain. So first, let's just define digital eye strain. So I would say that digital eye strain is when you feel pain or strain in your eyes after prolonged use of looking at a computer screen. So my main symptoms are kind of feeling achy around the eyes, having actual pain kind of around the eyes, and also feeling like the eye muscles all around the eyes are really sore and achy. And I also sometimes experience dry eyes or stinging eyes. So one thing which can really help digital eye strain is to get reading glasses. So when I first was dealing with eye strain, I went to an eye doctor and they checked out my eyes, and it turns out that I'm slightly farsighted. So I can still see everything really clearly when I'm looking at things up close, but my eyes have to work harder when I'm looking at things up close. So I started wearing glasses, and when I first started wearing glasses, I was just using them on the computer. So when I was outside or looking far away, I wasn't wearing them, and I was just wearing them on the computer, and that massively helped my eyes. Now, if you currently wear glasses or you started wearing glasses, but then maybe your eye strain got worse, then you might need to update your prescription. So sometimes after maybe 6 months, a year, or a few years, your eyes can actually change, so you might need to get an updated prescription. So if you haven't seen your eye doctor for a while, then definitely go back and get your eyes rechecked. However, after a few years, my eye strain started to get worse and worse, so I went back to an eye doctor, and they recommended that I just wear my glasses all the time, because even though I'm farsighted, so my eyes have a hard time looking at things close up, even when I'm looking far away, my eyes just have to work a little bit harder to kind of correct, and so using the glasses all the time is just going to correct that vision issue. And so when I started wearing my glasses all the time, it massively improved my eye strain. You could definitely speak with your eye doctor and maybe start wearing them all the time and see if that helps. Another small thing which can make a big difference is to make sure that your glasses are sitting correctly on your eyes. So if they are rotated sideways or if they're rotated too far up and down, then that can definitely affect how your eyes look through the glasses. And also generally you should be looking right through the very center of the lenses. Now if you recently got glasses and it's been maybe a few weeks or a month but your eye strain hasn't really gotten better, then you might also want to make sure that your prescription was correct. So a little while back I was dealing with eye strain and I got some new prescription glasses, and I was wearing them all the time, but after like a month or two, my eyes weren't getting any better. So I went back to the eye doctor and they took a look at my glasses, and it turns out that there was actually a factory error with the lenses, and the lenses weren't actually correct. And so they actually reordered new lenses, the correct lenses, and they didn't actually charge me for the new lenses, so that was great. And so once the new lenses arrived, they just put the new lenses in the frames, and then my eye strain definitely got better just after a few weeks. Now another thing which can massively help your eye strain is doing vision therapy, if your eyes need it. So vision therapy is sort of like a workout for your eyes. It's kind of like physical therapy for your eyes, where you actually strengthen your eyes and help them to work better. So for example, you might have something like lazy eye, where one of your eyes is kind of moving away, or your eyes might not track together, or you might have an issue where your eyes are converging too much. Now, not all eye doctors are experienced with vision therapy, so you might need to look around and find an eye doctor who is experienced with vision therapy. And so they can actually like test your eyes and see how your eyes are working together, and they can actually notice if there's something wrong with your eyes, like maybe your eyes aren't tracking together or your eyes are converging too much. So I went to an eye doctor and they specialized in vision therapy. They actually had a huge area of their office which was just dedicated to vision therapy. So the eye doctor looked at my eyes and they could tell that my eyes were converging too much, so I had convergence excess. So when you're looking really far away, that is divergence. When you were looking at something really close up, that is convergence. So I had convergence excess, excess, meaning that my eyes were converging way too much. So when I would look at a computer screen, my eyes were just working really, really hard, and my eye muscles were getting really strained because I was looking too close up and my eyes were actually kind of cross-eyeing too much. So they gave me different vision therapy exercises to relax my eyes. They gave me different exercises to kind of stretch my eyes apart, to kind of stretch and relax the muscles. And they gave me different exercises to improve my eyes' performance. And so immediately once I started doing vision therapy, I had a massive improvement to my eye strain. So definitely consider doing vision therapy. Try to find an eye doctor who specializes in vision therapy. I wouldn't recommend doing vision therapy on your own, because if you just like look up some things online and start doing vision therapy, you might not be doing the correct exercises, because there's different exercises for whatever issues people might be dealing with. So definitely speak to your eye doctor about vision therapy. Now my eyes are a lot better, so I don't really have to do vision therapy anymore, but I still do about 10 minutes of maintenance exercises every morning. So my vision therapist gave me a few different maintenance exercises that I can do just every morning, just to kind of make sure my eyes aren't converging too much. Now another huge thing which can affect eye strain is light sensitivity. So I actually figured out that certain types of monitors make my eye strain much worse. And so the types of monitors which make my eye strain much worse are monitors which look really dark when looking at them with polarized sunglasses. So if you have some sort of polarized sunglasses, you can put them on and look at your monitors with the polarized sunglasses. And if you're looking straight at the monitors, usually you're still going to be able to see through the monitors, but there are certain types of monitors which when you look through them with the polarized sunglasses, they will be a really dark color and you won't really be able to see anything on the screen. However, if you rotate the polarized sunglasses by 90 degrees, they then become a light color. However, the monitors which cause me a lot more eye strain, when I look through the monitors with polarized sunglasses, they look clear. And then when I rotate them by 90 degrees and look through them sideways, then they actually become dark. So what I did is got rid of any monitors which were clear when looking through the polarized sunglasses, and then I went to an electronics store and I looked at the different monitors and I found a really nice monitor that looks a dark color when looking through it with polarized sunglasses. So I'm just going to call it a polarized monitor. So I bought that monitor and then I started using it and my eye strain massively improved. So I guess my eyes are sensitive to certain types of light, and if I use these other types of monitors which are polarized, then my eye strain is really improved. Now, if your eyes are sensitive to light, what you can also do is try using dark mode. Now, I used to use light mode. I used light mode for many years, and I thought dark mode just didn't really look that nice. But finally, I decided just to switch to dark mode. So I completely switched all my websites and all of my programs to dark mode, and then just kept that for a few weeks. And then when I tried going back to light mode, I just really couldn't go back to it because I found it quite irritating. So I like dark mode way better because there's less bright light shining at your eyes. So if you use light mode, I definitely recommend just switching everything to dark mode and just trying dark mode for a couple of weeks. And if you don't like it, then you can go back to light mode. Light mode might work better for you, or dark mode, so just try either one. There's also an add-on or an extension on most internet browsers which will turn every single website to dark mode, so it's a really useful add-on. Now, regarding light sensitivity, another thing which can really irritate your eyes is blue light. Now, I'm not talking about UV light, I'm specifically talking about blue light, so the color blue. So I find that when I'm looking at lots of blue colored lights from my monitors, my eyes get much more strained. And so that's why I use a blue light filter on my computer. So there's lots of apps or programs that you can get on like your phone and your computer, which will actually make your screens kind of have like an orangey yellowish tinted color. And so on all my monitors, I just have it set to kind of like a yellow orangish color, and it massively improved my eye strain because my eyes get really irritated when I look at too much blue light. And also on your monitor settings, if you like click on the buttons on your monitor, you might be able to change it more to a yellowish orangish tinted light. Now, I'm also a 3D artist, and so I create 3D art on my computer. So when I'm doing color correction and color correcting artworks, I turn off my blue light filter program, and then I just turn it back on once I'm done doing color correction. Now, if you don't want to change your monitors, you can also buy like blue light blocking glasses, but I'd recommend that they have like an orange or yellow tint, because you can buy certain blue light blocking glasses. They're advertised as blue light blocking glasses, but then they're completely clear, so they don't actually change like the colors. So if you are going to buy like some blue light blocking glasses, then I'd recommend buying the ones which actually have that kind of yellowish or orangish tinted color. So when you look through them, everything kind of has that orange color, and that will help to get rid of blue light. Now regarding UV light can cause a bit of eye strain and could damage your eyes. And so that's why people recommend using UV light blocking sunglasses when you're outside on a sunny day. Now I've done my own research on this and I've spoken with eye doctors, and it turns out that when you're outside on a sunny day, you're exposed to way more UV light than looking at a computer monitor. So computer monitors do output just a small amount of UV light, but it's much less than just being outside. So I don't think that UV light is a huge issue because computer monitors don't emit a whole lot of UV light when compared to natural light, but you could get some glasses which have like a UV blocking filter. And also when you're outside on a super sunny day, if you are wearing sunglasses, just make sure that they do have UV blocking. And I believe most sunglasses do have 100% UV blocking. Now regarding sunny days, if you're outside and you're always squinting because it's so bright, I find that squinting definitely makes my eye strain worse. So if I'm outside for a few hours and I'm just like squinting all the time and then I come back and I work on my computer, that can just make my eyes a lot more tired. So I always wear sunglasses on any sunny day just because I really don't like to squint outside. Now regarding light sensitivity, screen glare can also cause eye strain because it can make you work harder to look at things on the screen. So if you have a really bright light behind you, or maybe your computer is close to a window, then light coming from the outside might cause a lot of screen glare. So maybe adjust your computer monitors or maybe use some shades on your windows just so that you aren't getting any screen glare. Also, changing the screen brightness can be really helpful, and it's always best to change the screen brightness to the same brightness in your room. So if it's really bright, if you have a lot of lights on or there's a lot of outdoor light coming in, but your monitors are very dark and they're not very bright, then you might be squinting and you might have to look harder at the screen and it could cause eye strain. However, the opposite is also true. If it's really dark, if it's like nighttime or the evening and you have your monitors at full brightness, then you're like looking at this super bright light, but then everything around you is really dark, and so that can also cause eye strain. So on my computer, I have a program where I can just kind of like drag the screen brightness. There's also other options like by pressing the buttons on your monitors to change the screen brightness. So I usually turn the screen brightness all the way up and keep it up for most of the day, but then the evening when it starts to get darker and darker, I slowly turn the brightness down more and more and just adjust it to the brightness in my room. Now, having bad posture could also definitely affect eye strain, because if you have a really bad sitting posture, that could make your back tight, and also it could also make your neck tight, and that could definitely affect your eyes. It could also cause like a bit of a headache. So if you have really bad sitting posture, or if you're slouching over, or you don't have a very good chair, then I definitely recommend investing in a high quality ergonomic desk chair. And one thing that can really help your posture is making sure you have good lumbar support. So definitely look into lumbar support. That's kind of like a little hump on the very bottom of the chair, which kind of pushes your lower back out, and that can definitely help your posture be better and make your spine be a better position, and it can also make you sit up straighter. Now regarding posture, it's also best if your legs are at a 90-degree angle and your legs are placed flat on the floor. You also want to make sure that your chair height and your table height are the right size, so maybe adjust your chair to make sure that your arms are about 90 degrees from your shoulders down to your arms. And just do some research about this online, and you can read a lot of articles about proper sitting posture. Now, your monitor height and distance can also really help. So what I find the best thing for me is to make it so that when I am stretching my arm out, my arm just barely touches the monitor, or maybe my monitor is slightly farther. Because your monitor is too close, then your eyes have to converge more to look at the monitor. But if your monitor is way too far away, then the text might be really small, so you might have to like lean forward and squint. So just make sure you have your monitor at a good distance. And also regarding height, I find that your eyes are the most relaxed when you're just looking slightly down. So what I like to do is I like to put the top of my monitor right about where my eyes are, so that way as I am looking at things on the monitor, I'm just looking slightly down. Also, making the text size on your phone and your computer larger can definitely help. So if you just go into the settings of your phone or your computer, you can just make the text size larger, and that can definitely help for easier reading, so you don't strain your eyes and you're not like squinting as much, and it can help to make your eyes not work as hard. Now, taking regular breaks can definitely help, and this is something that helps me so much. So you might have heard eye doctors talk about the 20-20-20 rule. Now, the 20-20-20 rule is that every 20 minutes, you look at least 20 feet away for about 20 seconds. Now, what I personally do is every 15 minutes, I look outside or really far away across the room for 30 seconds. Now, it might be hard to remember to take a break every 15 to 20 minutes, so what I do is I use a program on my computer called Break Time timer. And so you can like set up the different settings in the program. And so I have it set up so that every 15 minutes there's a big pop-up which comes up on my screen to tell me to take a break. Also, I find that every maybe 3 or 4 hours, taking a longer break for maybe like an hour can really help. So around the early afternoon, I actually take a break to like exercise and work out, and then I come back and continue working. So if you're working on a computer and maybe you have like a lunch break, instead of looking at your phone or watching TV or something on your lunch break, you can try to maybe go outside, go for a walk, or just rest your eyes. Now regarding light sensitivity, another thing which can really affect eye strain is the lights in your house. So certain lights sometimes are flickering, so if you have flickering lights, that can really make your eyes more strained. Now you may not be able to see the lights actually flickering, so what I did is I turned my phone's camera to slow motion mode or slow-mo, and then I actually recorded a video of my light bulbs in my house. Then I played the video in slow motion and looked back at it, and I could actually tell that some of my light bulbs were flickering and other light bulbs were not flickering. And so what I did is I got rid of all the light bulbs in my home which were flickering, and I bought light bulbs which were specifically advertised as non-flickering. And then when I took a video in slow motion and played the video back in slow motion, I could see that the lights weren't flickering. And so I found that when I completely replaced all the light bulbs in my home for non-flickering lights, my eye strain definitely felt a bit better. Now regarding the colors of your light bulbs, I'd highly recommend buying lights which are more of a soft warm light and not a white blue light, because I find that blue lights definitely can kind of make your eyes feel more irritated. So if you are purchasing light bulbs, make sure they kind of have more of that soft warm color. Now the moisture level of your eyes can definitely affect eye strain, because if your eyes are too dry, they can feel itchy or stingy. So there's a few things that I do to make sure that my eyes are nice and moist. So one thing that you can do is just remember to blink and just be really self-conscious of trying to blink a lot, because when you're looking at a screen, you actually tend to blink a lot less. So just make sure that you blink a lot. And also if you're using the 20-20-20 rule, make sure to blink a lot while you're taking breaks. Also just make sure to stay hydrated. So if you're not drinking enough water throughout the day, that can actually dry out your eyes. Now you can also use eye drops, and I do find that eye drops are pretty helpful. So maybe speak to your eye doctor and try to find a good brand of eye drops. Now another huge thing which can help keep your eyes moist is the humidity level in your room. So I live in Tennessee, and in Tennessee in the fall and winter it tends to get pretty dry outside, but then in the spring and summer it tends to get pretty humid. And so just this last fall, around October or November, it was getting pretty dry outside because it doesn't really rain much in the fall, and so the humidity in my home was getting very low. And I have a small device which I keep in my room which checks the humidity level. So if you don't know what the humidity level in your room is, you can buy one of those devices to check the humidity. And so I was finding that in the fall and winter time, my room was getting way down to just like 30% humidity or even lower, sometimes 25% humidity. And I found that every time the humidity would go down, my eyes would get really dry and stingy and itchy. So what I did to fix this is I bought a humidifier. So you just pour water into the humidifier and then turn it on, and then it shoots out moisture like as steam into the room. So you can definitely do your own research on what humidity level is best, but I think around 45% humidity is pretty good for indoors. Now you don't want it to be too dry, of course, because if it's too dry, your skin can get dry and your eyes can get dry, but you also don't want it to be too humid, because if it's too humid consistently, that can also cause like mold buildup in your home. So I think 45% is pretty good. And once I started using the humidifier, that massively improved my dry eyes. Now, eating a healthy, balanced diet may or may not help eye strain, but it is definitely going to help you to avoid other eye problems or eye illnesses. I'm not sure how much eating a healthy diet will affect eye strain specifically, because eye strain might just be regarding like the performance of your eyes and looking up close, but definitely eating a healthy diet can help you to avoid eye illnesses. So eating things like bilberries, blueberries, or other berries can really help because they have a lot of antioxidants. Eggs can really help. Foods with beta carotene like carrots can definitely help, and also dark leafy greens have lots of good nutrition which can help your eyes. Also eating fatty fish or omega-3 fats can really help, and also eating foods high in vitamin A like different vegetables or beef liver can definitely help. So liver like beef liver or chicken liver has a lot of vitamin A which can help your eyes. And also lutein and zeaxanthin are some great supplements which are good for your eyes. So if you're eating a nice large variety of vegetables like dark leafy greens, then you'll probably get plenty of lutein and zeaxanthin. Also vitamin E and vitamin C are good for your eyes. So if you're eating a healthy diet with lots of fruits and vegetables, you'll probably get plenty of vitamin E and C. Now I'm currently eating a carnivore diet, so I'm only eating meat because I've been having some digestive issues, and I found that if I eat a carnivore diet, that massively improves my digestion. So right now I'm not able to eat fruits and vegetables and not a super whole foods diet. So because I'm on a carnivore diet, I take an eye supplement called Visual Advantage Macular Support. And this supplement has vitamin C, vitamin E, lutein, mesozeaxanthin, and zeaxanthin. So those are all some really great supplements which can help your eye health. I also eat fish pretty regularly, so that way I can get in my omega-3 fats. Now, a little while back, I was experiencing dry, stingy eyes, so I asked my eye doctor about it, and they said that eating enough vitamin A can definitely help to avoid stinging eyes. But beef liver and chicken liver is a really great source of vitamin A. So I started eating some beef liver on a regular basis to make sure I'm getting plenty of vitamin A. So you can definitely look up different foods which have vitamin A and make sure you're getting enough vitamin A. Now, if you are going to eat liver for vitamin A, just make sure you don't consume too much, because if you do consume too much beef liver for a long time, then that can actually cause vitamin A toxicity because your body will store too much vitamin A. Do your own research online or talk to your doctor about how much beef liver is safe, but just keep it in moderation. So now that I've talked about a bunch of things which can help with eye strain, I want to go over a few things which you can do to just spend less time on screens. So for example, instead of using a calendar on your phone or your computer, you could actually buy a real calendar, a paper calendar, and put it on your wall. And that way, if you have to check your calendar, you're not going to be going to your computer. Also, if you're an artist like me and you do drawing, instead of doing digital drawing, you could switch to just using a pencil and paper. Now, I used to do a lot of digital drawing and also digital sculpting with a screen drawing tablet, so I'd actually draw on the screen, but I found that was causing a lot of eye strain because I'm just looking too close up and the monitor is too close to my eyes. So I actually switched to using a little pad tablet, and that way the monitor is still far away because I'm using my regular monitor and just drawing with the drawing tablet down where my keyboard is. Also, instead of doing video calls with people, you could do phone calls instead, and then you could just kind of look out the window and rest your eyes. And just for general digital minimalism or using computers less, I'd highly recommend reading the book Digital Minimalism. I actually listened to the audiobook, and it's a really great audiobook just talking about different ways to spend less time online and just be more productive with your digital work. And if you work on a computer for your job, after a long day of working on the computer, try to do some other activities after work. So instead of just playing games or watching TV, there are so many other things you can do, like outdoor activities or other social activities that are away from screens. Now, regarding video games, I pretty much never play video games because I just personally find them kind of a waste of time. You can play video games, of course, if you enjoy them, but I just really don't care to play video games. I have a lot more things that I want to do with my free time. Now, I also find that playing first-person games makes my eye strain a lot worse. So, for example, a game like Minecraft, where you're looking from the first person's view. And I think it has to do with me not taking enough breaks. And also, when I'm playing a first-person game, I'm not really looking around the screen. I'm just looking straight at the very center of the screen. So my eyes are converged too much and I'm just zoning in way too much. So it causes my eyes to strain a lot more. So definitely try avoiding those type of games. If that causes you eye strain, it does make my eye strain much worse. Whereas when I'm just working on 3D art, or if I'm video editing, or just working on some other project, or just writing in documents, I'm looking at different monitors and I'm looking around a lot. So that keeps my eyes pretty relaxed. Also, try to use your phone as little as possible, because when you're looking at your phone, you're going to be looking up much closer. But when you're on a computer monitor, you can have better posture and you're looking farther away. So many apps on your phone you can actually use on your computer. So of course, social media, you can go to the websites instead of using your phone. And there's also different programs and things where you can use your computer instead of using your phone. Also, if you're using your text messages on Google, there's actually a website where you can pair or sync your phone with your computer on a Google website, and then you can actually text using your computer and mouse on your computer instead of using your phone. And if you have an Apple phone and an Apple computer, then you should be able to sync that up where you can text on your computer. Also, you can avoid watching videos or TV while you're eating. It seems like a lot of people like to watch videos while you're eating, but if it takes you 10 minutes to eat and you eat 3 times a day, that's a half an hour of time that you're looking at a computer. So if you just spend those 10 minutes each meal, maybe looking outside or just doing something else, that can really add up, and you can spend a lot less time throughout the day looking at a computer. And so taking those different breaks at breakfast, lunch, and dinner can also give your eyes a rest. Now, just a few more lifestyle things. I find that when I'm stressed out, my eye strain is definitely worse, probably because I'm tensing up, and so that can definitely make my eye strain worse. Also, if you don't get enough sleep, that can definitely make your eyes more tired and dry. So I find that when I get less than 6 hours of sleep, my eyes can feel dry and definitely get strained a lot more easily. So I find that really I need a good 8 hours, and most people need a good 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, I also find that my eyes get tired out pretty quickly when I'm reading, so I like to use audiobooks as much as I can. So instead of reading a physical book, I like to find audiobooks and just listen to those instead, and that way I can rest my eyes. I just find my eyes get tired pretty easily when I'm reading. Alright, so that's the huge list on everything that I know on how to improve your eye strain. So hopefully if you incorporate all these things into your lifestyle, that can definitely improve your eye strain. So I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching.